Hello, Bad Am Ham here again with part 5 of my VHS update. My VHS collection, man. First up is Honeymooners. Episode Twilight was before Christmas. Special goes Lauren Martin. It's the Little Rascals remaster and edited. Comes with Bedtime Worries, Wild Posies, Male and Female, and Derby Day. Next up is the Carol Burnett Show. Show Shoppers includes outrageous outtakes, vintage clips of sketch from the original show, musical tribute to costume designer Bob Mackie. Next up is Benji Puppy Love. It's an episode from the TV series. Next up, it doesn't have a box. It just has like regular that kind of box, The Exterminator. Ron Kelia Martin Lawrence Live. Got this Vertical Limit. It used to be a rental of my library, but they sold it. And so is this one from the library, and the next one is too from the library. Evolution with David Duchovny. It's got all these people. I love that movie. Next up, I got the Dead Man on Campus. We're gonna try to get this guy to kill himself, because they say if they're, I guess, was it some sort of college thing where your roommate kills yourself, you get an A+ or something. Next up is Asteroid. This is the edited edition, because I think, yeah, it says 2-hour edition, edited exclusively for video, so it's 2 hours, so I don't know actually how long it is. Next up is one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, Milo and Otis. I remember watching them. Next up is Evil Dead 2 on VHS, special edition, widescreen presentation, collector's edition. Next up is Wild Wild West with Will Smith. Next up is the 7 Lone, Baker's Hawk, and Pony Express Rider. It's a little box set I found. Next up is Jim Carrey, Man on the Moon. Next up is Highlander, The Gathering, which is the 2-tape set. And yeah, there's a couple episodes, Family Tree, behind the scenes video, The Gathering, the very first episode. They had another video, Highlander Unholy Alliance, about a Dark Watcher and one of the other mortals teaming up to try to kill Duncan MacLeod. They form into a movie. Next one, this sounds interesting, and Quiet Night. This sounds interesting. In an LA courtroom, District Attorney Joey Amos wages battle for a 7-year-old Diana who has been abused by her father. When Tara grips the child on the witness stand, she runs and hides away in Joey's car. Grips being the chance to save Generally boldly crosses the line and abducting her. A ruthless pursuit by the fathers who's up their captor force the pair into a whirlwind of jeopardy and a surprising twist of events. The two find in a most unsuspecting place until a frantic, deadly confrontation deals out Dion's face. Sounds interesting, so that's why I picked it up. Next up, I got the Best of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Had 3 episodes. Never Come Back. Never Name It Duck. Bank Book. Hustling a Hustler. Got this one. It's interesting. The 500 Home Run Club, hosted by Bob Costas and Mickey Mantle. Next up is Monster Rider. Or, I meant Monster Rancher. It doesn't have the episodes on it. I just got it because the very beginning of the episode, they have the trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which I like the trailer for. Next up, I got the clamshell edition of E.T. I got this WAP America. This is another one I got from the library that they sell. And this one also is from the library. It's the 50th anniversary masterpiece collection of Melody Times. Next up is one of my favorite childhood movies, The Goonies. Got it in this black VHS case, clamshell. Next up is Winnie Pooh Grand Adventures, The Search for Christopher Robin. I had to pick that up. Next one I got The Creature That All Man Fears Became One Man Exception, Patrick Stewart and Gregory Peck in Moby Dick. I haven't watched this yet. Need to watch it. I got Our Gang Family Comedy Festival. Picked it up. I got the second one somewhere on the table. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Snow Dogs. This is one of my favorite movies of that. Of course, I also got this one, Leo, the Walt Disney's Leo and Stitch. Next is Master Pierce Fantasia. Always want to get this one. Always want to watch it. Dancing Crocodile and Hippo. Here's the ultimate Red Skeleton video, The Funny World of Red Skeleton, the career of the comedy legend. Next up is Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge feature. I had to pick this up. This one I found at garage sale. This one I actually bought at the store at Walmart. When I saw it, I had to pick it up because it's Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan feature. I had to pick it up. I like the movie. They have Pantera in there. They're singing the song. Next up is Cheeseburger by the Dozen, which I have not watched. Next one I had this one, Animation Station, voiced by the legendary Mel Blaine. Fishtail, 7 episodes of Heathcliff. I remember watching Heathcliff and who was it? Heathcliff and Garfield. Yeah, it's 7 episodes. The Great Tuna Caper, Sealand Mania, Claws, Miami Island, Heathcliff Clip, Something Fishy, Cadillac Cat bonus episode, In Search of Cat Atlantis. Interesting. And next, these are the 4 VHS tapes I got from the producers of the Left Behind movies. First up is Judgment, or Apollox 4 or 5, whatever the heck it says. Next is Gary Busey and Tribulations. Next up is Deception. And of course, this one is Apocalypse. Next up is The Mighty Ducks, which I've rounded out. I have all 4 of those. And Space Jams. One of my favorite. Of course, I got this at Goodwill one time, and it's The Making of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Or, wait, no. The Making of the Terminator, sorry. I got that one wrong. Because I'm such an idiot. Next up is Fear.com. Next up is Jimmy Lee Curtis in The Fog, which is neat. Next one I got the Blockbuster presents John Carpenter's Halloween. And of course I found this, I forget where I found this. I think it was at the Walmart, or not Walmart, but video store, Goodwill, I think. Halloween 2. Next one I got this Bela Lugosi and the East Side Kids in Spooky Runs Wild. Next up, I got Bela Lugosi's in Scared to Death in color. And I got this one. I bought this actually at a garage sale. The first time I ever bought VHS at a garage sale. This was the very first one. And it's another one in Lover's Lane. I need to fix this tape to watch it. Next up, I got Boris Karloff, and Jack Nicholson in The Terror. And I got King Kong. This is the sequel, remake. Yeah, remake of the 1993 original one. And this one I always want to watch. Never seen it before. It's The Exorcist. Need to watch that. Next up, I got double feature of Night of the Living Dead and Reaper Madness, which I've never seen. Reaper Madness. And here's Vampire Lost. You can probably figure out what that says. I have no idea. And of course, I got the Pumpkinhead. Haven't seen that in a while. Haven't seen this one. It has Dawn the Dragon. It's the Vampire Collection. It's none other than Night Hunter, and there he is with a shotgun in it. And I got this. I found this actually up at the Goodwill. Dinosaurs, or is it Salvation Army? I forget which I found it at. And I know I got this one at the somebody's garage sale, I think. Cry of the Werewolf. Never watched this yet. Next up, I got Horror of Dracula. Never watched this yet. I think. That's not really that much good of a picture on there. Next up, I got The Curse of King Tut's Tomb, which I think I did a review of on my channel, I think. Yeah, this one, Lost Continent, with Cesar Romero. It's alright. This one I really didn't like neither. It's Journey to the Center of Time. Does not have a dinosaur in it. Sorry. Here's Bone Collector. Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf, which I have seen. One of my favorite movies, Arachnophobia. One of my favorite scary movies because I don't like spiders. Species 2, which I have Species 1 somewhere. I think it's on DVD. Two of my favorite Ron Howard film, Cocoon and Cocoon the Return. This is kind of cool. Next we got Sean Connery and Outland. Sounds interesting. Sean Connery and Alec Baldwin in The Hunt for Red October. Gene Hackman, Danny DeVito in The Heist. Heist, I meant. Just regular heist, not. And I got Danny DeVito in The Money. Of course, next two I have has Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Junior. I remember renting that up at the old video store. Next up is DeVito and Arnold in Twins. And here's some of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Here's Commando. I remember watching this one when I was a kid, liking it. The Running Man. Next up is The Last Action Hero. Carol Damage. You know what I mean. Here I got Court Douglas and Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Villain. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in a Western. Can't wait to watch that. Next up is Conan the Barbarian. course, I got the sequel, Conan the Destroyer. And of course, I got Red Sonja. And I got Total Recall, which I have not seen. I haven't seen the remake neither. This is one of my favorite movies where he punched a guy. When he punched a guy in a sauna. One of my favorite comedy of Arnold, Kindergarten Cop. I like the little kid. I think he was one of the little boy in the classroom. I think he was on an episode of Full House because he was in. I think he was in a couple episodes. It was funny because man have a penis, girl have a vagina. I was like, holy crap. Next I got Robert De Niro and Midnight Run. Robert De Niro and Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents. I actually have Meet the Falkers and the little thing on DVD, and I have analyzed this. This is my second copy of it. Next up I got Robert De Niro in The Bronx Tale. Next up is Robert De Niro in Flawless. And Edward Burns and Robert De Niro in 15 Minutes. I remember watching this before. Haven't seen it in a long time. Next up are all my Jackie Chan movies. This one's Crime Story. Haven't watched it yet. I remember seeing this on the USA Network, and Jackie Chan is Drunken Master. Next up is Miracles. I got the bottom says, Meet the Original Gangster. Sounds interesting. And I got this, Jackie Chan, the Accidental Spy. And I got Jackie Chan's Blood Pack. And I did a review of this one, Mr. Nice Guy. And I think I also did this one, Rumble from the Bronx. I think I did reviews on that one. Have not watched this one yet, Twin Dragon. I had to pick this one up because I liked the movie Shanghai Noon. I think I also have Shanghai Nights. I think I found that somewhere. This one is Owen Wilson. It's supposed to have a video bonus feature making of. Next up is Operation Condor 2, Armor of the Gods. I think this is supposed to be like they messed up and that's the sequel. And of course I got this one with General Hood, the Tuxedo. Next up is I have two Kurt Russell movies, Kurt Russell and Jack Warner in Used Cars. Beware of the Used Car Salesman. That's on the bottom there. Next up is one of my favorite movies of Kurt Russell, Big Trouble in Little China. Fun. Next up I got Robert Shaw and The Deep. Next up is my Stallone collection, Cobra, one of my favorite movies. The Specialist, Get Carter, Stallone. One of my favorite comedies of Stallone, Stop or my mom will shoot. Got Cliffhanger, also got on DVD too. Just see in my DVD collection. Here's Rocky 1. My relatives gave me this for Christmas with a bunch of other movies, the Die Hards and the Star Wars ones. Rocky 3 or Rocky 4. I know they're doing the Creed movie with Stallone supposed to be in the corner of Creed and Stallone in Daylight. This I think somebody bought for $7. It's a Judge Dredd. a movie I want to watch one of these days. David Carradine, Stallone, and Death Race 2000. Next up, I got Demolition Man, him and Wesley Snipes. And I got this one, I See You, which I think, was it, Rambo Laughs for Life said this is the original, aka Detox. Next up is last one's Tango and Cash, which I like that one. Next two are the Ray Stevens Live, which I have that one, and Ray Stevens Gets Serious. I gotta get both of these because I have to get the right one. Next one I got is John Candy, Delirious. Not based on a true story, it says. Given with clamshell protective case. It's from a Clarence Reznor, it says. Next up, it's 6. It's dirty. Somebody has, it's their job. Has dirty work. Has Chevy Chase in it. I got this one, Buy and Sell. I got this because that's Roddy Piper in it. So this is like Fist of Flurry 2. Bruce Lee is in it. Next are my Jet Li movies. Jet Li and The Ones, one of my favorite movies. Oh, another one of my favorite movies, Black Mask. I have Black Mask 2 on DVD. Romeo Must Die. This one I have not watched yet, and it's Meltdown with Jet Li. Next up is Harry and the Hendersons. I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren. Next are my couple of my Robin Williams movies. The Survivors I meant. Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam. Next one is Jack. Next up is Tom Hanks and Cheryl Long and Money Pit. Next up is Tim Conway, They Went That Way and That Way. Bernie Mac, Inspector Gadget, Greatest Keeper Ever, and Bernie Mac's The Gadget Mobile in this movie. Next up is two of the Scooby-Doo ones I didn't show, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, and Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. Next up are my Chuck Norris, more remember Chuck Norris movies, The Firewalker, Chuck Norris and Breaker, The Battle Cries of the Great Trucker War, Chuck Norris and Silent Rage, which I liked. Next up is Alice Costello, Cartoon Carnival #1. Comes with like Carrot Choo Choo, Pokemon Double Trouble, Son of Kong, Teeny Weeny Genie, Indestructible Spacesuit, Bouncing Rubber Man, Germ Squirm, Marauding Mummy, and Wizardland. Next up, I got the Comedy Hour, Alice Costello's Christmas show. Next up is Alice Costello Meets the Killer, Boris Karloff. Next up is Alice Costello and Jack and the Beanstalk. Next up is Alex Costello Live TV in our Comedy Hour. Next up is Ghost in the Darkness, which is one of my favorite movies because it's supposed to be based on a true story. Next up is a couple more blooper ones. Next one's Pro Sports Bloopers. Got this one. It's Harrison Ford in Witness. And I got this Def Comedy Jam 2, All Stars 2. Next up is Royalty presents Jeff Foxworthy, The Ultimate Predator, in Incomplete Deer Hunter 2, 3, I meant. Next up are my Whoopi Goldberg movies. Eddie, where Whoopi Goldberg gets a basketball team. Next up is Boys on the Side with Drew Barrymore, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg in Jumping Jack Flash. Whoopi Goldberg is Burglar. Whoopi Goldberg in Kiss Shot. Cuba Gooding Jr. and Anthony Hawkins in Instinct. Next up is Iron Eagle 1, Iron Eagle 2, Iron Eagle 3, Missing Aces, whatever, and Iron Eagle 4, I meant. Next up is Congo. Next is Adam Sandler Going Overboard. James Wood and Badge of the Assassin. Richard Drivers, Rosie O'Donnell, Emma Vesfez, and Another Stakeout. Next is Pierce Bronson and Dante's Peak. Once Bitten with Jim Carrey. Next is The Main Event, which I've not seen. Next is All-Star Comedy Ice Riviera, or something like that. I don't know. Next up is The Fred Flintstone Show, Volume 1. It comes with Mountain Frustration, Potion Problem, Ghost Sitters. Next up is the Flintstones full-length movie, Little Big League. You don't watch those. Next is the Rockies Raiders, the Flintstones comedy show. Next up is Mr. Bean the movie, which I love Mr. Bean. Next up I got the Final Frolics of Mr. Bean, which comes with Tee Off Mr. Bean, Goodnight Mr. Bean. Next up is the exciting page of Mr. Bean. So Mr. Bean Goes Down, The Curse of Mr. Bean. The Amazing Adventures of Mr. Bean comes with Mr. Bean, The Return of Mr. Bean. I remember watching these on PBS, and I got the best bits of Mr. Bean, which I did a review about. Next up is the Don't Get Me Started, Billy Crystal on Open. I have time for a couple more. Let's see, I got Carnivores. I'm at Outbreak. Sorry, I jumped the gun already. On this one, I got Carnivores. On this one, it's Carnivore 2. On this tape, I have a bunch of movies. The first one's Carnivores 3. So that'll be it for part 5 of my VHS collection. I might put some of these away before I do part 6, so I get rid of most of these tapes out of my way. So thank you all for watching. See you on the next one. So I might have a couple more parts left, so hopefully I get them done tonight, and I get to my DVDs tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. Bye.